Have you ever had that special place in your hometown where everyone knows each other? That little spot where you feel at home, surrounded by friends, stories, and of course, good laughs? For me and my friends, that place was a pub, as small, but cozy, right in the heart of the city. It was the kind of place that felt frozen in time, with its dark wooden walls, the smell of beer in the air, and the soft music that never failed to bring a sense of comfort. But what truly gave life to that pub were the people. And among all the familiar faces, there was one man who always stood out. His name was Jack. A guy in his 60s, but with a presence that went beyond any number of years. Physically, he was in great shape, with visibly well-defined arm muscles, and a few tattoos that hinted at a past he rarely talked about. Jack was the kind of guy everyone respected without him having to say a word. He didn't talk much about himself, but when he did, there was a wisdom and calmness in his voice that made everyone stop to listen. It was hard not to like Jack. Always friendly, always with a smile, he quickly became the soul of any conversation, whether it was about sports, politics, or just the trivialities of everyday life. But it was on a Saturday night that all of us regulars at the pub found out there was much more to Jack than his friendliness and calm demeanor. That night, 3 soccer fans, already a bit tipsy, walked into the pub. You know the type, those guys who think the world revolves around them and that they can do whatever they want. They started being rude to the bartender, a sweet young woman who always did her best to please the customers. Apparently, the beer wasn't cold enough, or the service wasn't fast enough. Any excuse was good enough for them to act like bullies. We, sitting at our tables, could feel the tension rising. No one wanted a confrontation, but at the same time, no one knew what to do. That's when Jack got up. With the same calm he always displayed, he walked over to the bar and politely asked the fans to stop with the insults. "Hey, guys, why don't you take it easy?" he said, with a smile on his face. But their response was anything but polite. They laughed in Jack's face, calling him grandpa and asking if he wanted to teach them some manners. The atmosphere in the pub changed instantly. We all knew Jack, and as much as we liked him, we didn't know what he could do against 3 young guys ready for a fight. That's when Jack did something unexpected. He turned to us regulars and asked everyone to sit down, assuring us that he would handle the situation. Can you imagine our surprise? That man, who always seemed so peaceful, was about to face off against 3 guys younger and stronger than him. But there was something in his voice, something in the way he looked at each of us, that made us trust him without question. Jack then approached the fans and challenged them to step outside the pub. They laughed again but accepted the challenge, convinced they would have some easy fun with that old man. We all watched as they walked out, a mix of concern and curiosity in the air. The pub door had barely closed when, in less than 20 seconds, Jack walked back in, alone. Have you ever seen something happen so quickly that your brain takes a moment to process what really just happened? When Jack walked in, we all froze for a few seconds. He was calm, as always, just adjusted the collar of his jacket and walked to the bar, as if nothing had happened. But curiosity got the best of us, and we soon got up to see what had happened outside. And what we saw left us completely stunned. 2 of the fans were knocked out on the ground, while the third one, sitting against the wall, was holding his bloody nose. No one knew what to say. It was as if time had stopped for a few seconds. That's when Jack's story began to come out. We found out he wasn't just an ordinary man who liked a good chat and a beer at the end of the day. Jack was a former member of the SAS, the Special Air Service, one of the most respected and feared special forces in the world. That calm and friendly man, who was always at the pub, had a past that few could have imagined. And to add another piece to the puzzle, the bartender, the young woman the fans were harassing, was none other than Jack's daughter. He wasn't just a customer defending the place he loved to be, he was a father protecting his family. From that night on, Jack became a legend in the pub, and each of us began to look at him with newfound respect. He never talked much about what happened, and we never asked. There was wisdom in letting that story live in the air, with no more details, no more questions. Because, after all, Jack taught us something important, that appearances can be deceiving, and that even the most peaceful person can carry within them the strength of a true warrior. And I wonder how many other people around us might have stories like Jack's that never get told. How many times do we judge someone just by the surface, without even imagining what's hidden underneath? Maybe that's the real lesson here. Look around, observe the people you meet in your day-to-day life, and remember that each one of them might have a surprising story waiting to be revealed. So the next time you're in a pub, a cafe, or even in line at the grocery store, remember Jack and how he quietly taught us the value of never underestimating anyone.
Check out the next video, where I share even more valuable tips to change your life. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment on your experiences. Your participation is essential for us to grow together. And don't forget, don't let the ghosts of your mind control you.